Major League Baseball just had its first female umpire in its 150-year history. Now that got me thinking, what other men's sports leagues have had female officials? Hi there everyone, I'm Jeff, and this is Plain English for Thursday, September 11th, 2025. Thanks so much for making Plain English part of your English learning routine. Those of you who've been with us for a long time, you know, we talk about lots and lots of things here, and that's the point. When you listen to a wide variety of topics in English, you get your brain thinking in English, thinking about new things, and you'll learn some new words at the same time. On each episode, we tell a story. It's usually somewhat related to current events and trending topics, and today's story is about female officials in men's sports. Our modern top-tier professional baseball league is over 150 years old. And last month, for the first time, a female umpire worked the game. In today's episode, we'll take a quick, certainly not comprehensive, a quick spin through the sports world to see about female officials in the men's game. This is episode number 803, so all the transcripts, translations, quiz, exercises, all that stuff is at plainenglish.com/803, and that is thanks to JR, the producer. plainenglish.com/803. Before we start today's story, I'd just like to remind you that the podcast is just one part of how we can help you upgrade your English skills. At plainenglish.com, you can make faster progress with active learning strategies. You can take quizzes, do activities, listen to the fast version of the audio, watch video workshops, practice what you learn, and even join a live call with JR and me. It's all about helping you build your skills to become a better, more confident English speaker. Sound good? Go to plainenglish.com to start your free 14-day trial today. Now, let's jump into today's story. In baseball, fans don't usually cheer the umpires. The umpires are the officials, like the referees. And compared with other major sports officials, baseball umpires come in for some pretty heavy criticism. In baseball, it's generally permitted for players and coaches to run onto the field and argue about calls. Coaches are often animated in their arguments. They argue to motivate their players and the fans. In some famous examples from history, coaches kick dirt all over the umpires' shoes as the fans egg them on. When things get out of hand, umpires can eject a player or a coach from the game. In the stadium, fans are not shy about making their opinions known. There isn't a lot of polite appreciation for the work of a baseball umpire. Whenever the spotlight is on them, it's usually not for a good reason. So it was unusual when the home crowd in Atlanta gave an umpire a standing ovation before the game. Unusual, but maybe not surprising, for the umpire's name was Jen Pawol, and she became the first female umpire in Major League Baseball's 150-year history. Baseball has had female broadcasters, female data analysts, even a female general manager. But it has never had a female official on the field until now. And that's surprising. Baseball is played every day, and there are over 75 full-time umpires at any given time. Pawol's promotion was a quirk of the schedule. The Atlanta Braves played a doubleheader against the Miami Marlins that day. That means they played 2 games in the same day. And whenever there's a doubleheader, they borrow an additional umpire from a lower league to help out in the second game. Back in 2023, Pawol became just the second female umpire in AAA. That's the league just below the top league. So when the major leagues needed an umpire to work that doubleheader in Atlanta, they called an umpire from the lower AAA league. And it was Pawol who got the call. She would be in the big league for just a short time, but she would make history. After the game, she had a small celebration with champagne in paper Gatorade cups for family and close friends. And soon, she went back to her old job in AAA, calling games in smaller cities like Toledo, St. Paul, Indianapolis, and Des Moines, far from the national media spotlight. Her debut got me thinking, in what other men's sports have there been female officials? I know, as a fan, that the NBA and NFL, America's basketball and football leagues, have had female officials for a long time. But I wasn't sure about other sports or about other countries. So here's what I found. Let's do basketball first. In 1997, Violet Palmer and Dee Kantner became the first female referees in America's National Basketball Association. The NBA today has 65 men and 8 women as full-time referees. The NBA's G League is a lower league for developing players. There, 48% of referees are female. And around the world, female basketball referees are common in the men's game. Germany's Anne Panther has officiated top EuroLeague games. Basketball is popular in Turkey also. Funda Teoman is a prominent female official there. Now for soccer. The 2022 World Cup was a milestone year. For the first time ever, women were included among the referees in the Men's World Cup. In fact, the Costa Rica versus Germany game featured 3 female referees, the first time a complete crew of female officials worked a Men's World Cup game. Top country leagues have been opening up too. Germany, France, Italy, England, and Brazil have all had female officials call men's league games. It's perhaps not surprising that soccer and basketball have female referees, because both those sports have strong professional women's leagues. So there's likely a pool of players who develop an interest in becoming an official. So what about sports where there aren't strong women's leagues? America's National Football League welcomed its first female official in 2015, Sarah Thomas. She even worked the Super Bowl, the country's biggest sporting event, in 2021. But there haven't been many women on NFL officiating crews. At any given time, there are just 1 or 2 female officials on a roster of about 120. The National Hockey League is a professional ice hockey league in Canada and the United States. The NHL has never had a female official. There are female officials in the league just below the top league, however. Cricket and rugby are traditionally male-dominated sports. There have been just a handful of female officials at the top levels of the men's game in those sports. Japanese baseball has had a woman play in the men's league, but never umpire in one. In tennis, it's very common for female chair umpires to work men's matches, even at the highest level. Female officials can face unique hurdles on their way up. They are subject to more scrutiny than usual. Every close call or incorrect call might be overanalyzed by fans and the media. Internet trolls are ruthless. Many female officials say they face discrimination. Then there are the logistics. Most stadiums don't have spacious accommodations for the officials to begin with. Separate men's and women's facilities is a lot to ask. Natalie Aspinall, the first woman to serve as a referee in the English Premier League, would show up with her uniform already on underneath a tracksuit. Over the years, stadiums have gotten more accommodating to mixed-gender officiating teams. Well, considering all the barriers female officials have faced entering men's sports, I got to wondering, are male officials likewise rare in women's sports? The answer is no. No, they are not. In fact, male referees have long been common in women's leagues and competitions, mostly without controversy. For example, the WNBA, Women's Pro Basketball, uses a mixture of male and female referees, but historically, the majority have been men. The same is true in women's soccer. Many top women's matches, especially at the club level, are officiated by male referees. And that's all for us here at Plain English. This was episode number 803, so you can find the full transcript plus interactive exercises, translations, and the discussion area all at plainenglish.com/803. We'll be back next week with 2 new topics. I can't wait to see you then. Listen up if you speak Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, or Turkish. One of the most frustrating things about listening and reading in a second language is being confused by unfamiliar words or phrases. When you listen to Plain English, or when you read the transcript, you probably encounter some words you don't know. When that happens, you have a few options. You can stop the audio, go look up the definition, then return to the episode, find your place, and press play again. But that's exhausting. Or you can just skip it and be confused. That's no fun either. But what if you could see the translation of the word into your language instantly without having to stop the audio, without having to look anything up? Well, you can at plainenglish.com. For each episode, we translate about 100 words and phrases from English to 9 languages: Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, and Turkish. And we highlight those words in blue. All you have to do is hover your mouse over the highlighted word and you'll see the translation instantly. It works great on mobile too. It really makes listening a lot more satisfying and it's a great way to expand your vocabulary in English. The best way to see these translations is to sign up for a free 14-day trial at plainenglish.com. During your trial, you can read as many transcripts as you like, all with the translations into your language. So sign up for your free trial today at plainenglish.com.